Hello, I am Noah Laird. I am currently in Sociology 203 Social Problems. We are doing a podcast capstone final today. So, a little bit about myself. I am 19. I grew up in Bedford, PA, and still live in Bedford. I haven't been anywhere else really. I've only ever been to three other states, and the majority of my social experience has been in Bedford and Cumberland. So I am very sheltered to the outside world. I'm very America centric, unfortunately, with how I've been raised. However, I have definitely learned over the course of meeting with you, Arthur, as well as a few of other people that I've met from outside of the American country, a little bit more about how the world works in better ways than what American schooling could teach me. So, this class was partnered with Engine, which is a nonprofit organization who helps with cross-cultural exchange and teaching conversational English to Ukrainian citizens. And we have used this time to both learn how each other's worlds work as well as a little bit about each other. So I'm going to pass it off to you, Archer, and you can go ahead and introduce yourself.
Okay, so my name is Arthur. I'm 20. I'm Ukrainian, and um, okay, what shall I say? I study in university on a fourth year. I study puppetry, theater department, and I already have an experience playing in independent theater, modern theater, performance theater, and now I am trying myself in public mm, or I can't say organization, but public occupation maybe. And also I continue my theater production and participation in any performances and I don't know plays and and so on. Should I say something about engine maybe or power communication?
Yeah, well, let's do a little bit of that. How's
Yeah.
how's your set been?
Mhm. You're my second volunteer in engine program. I had the first one. I realized that we have never told about it. The first one was from Indonesia, and it just really interesting to notice differences in culture, like Ukrainian, Indonesian, and here is American. And uh, I'm so excited to know more about this world, about these different cultures, and to get closer, to get to know with people from different, um, how to say in one word, like America, Europe, Asia.
Different cultures, different you could even say different worlds, I think,
co- Um,
unless we're being more specific.
con- continent, I mean.
Yeah, continent, there you go.
Yeah, and so I really like it.
My experience with Engine, as I already laid out, was very eye-opening considering you're my first student volunteer. I'm not sure how to properly use that term. We've
Mhm.
met and you're the first person I've met with. Uh, so this is the most, I guess I could say cultural mixing I've had specifically with somebody intentionally outlooking onto different cultures to learn rather than just to, I don't know, by chance, I guess. So it's been very, very interesting meeting with you for the last few months. I found it really interesting how close we are in age, yet how different our worlds are, considering where we're living alone is so different to each other. And yet we still have so many shared aspects of our lives as well. I think it's mind blowing that there's so many people across the globe that live similar to us that we'll never meet or never know existed. So that's a little bit about Engine. Um, so let's come to our first topic here real quick. Um, let's cover poverty first, then we'll do the next one just down the line. So I'm going to pull up the census website real quick and just disclose specifically with what the poverty line is here in America currently. I can do so in the way that I want to. Come on. I swear I had these resources loaded up not long ago. Okay. So currently the poverty measure within 2022 was that 1 or 11.5% of people, 37.9 million people in America were living in strict poverty, which is ridiculous, I think. I think overall poverty in general is unacceptable in current society, considering how far we've come. Um, so unfortunately, these rates continue to skyrocket. It's been higher and higher every year, and it seems to be just tracking upwards and upwards, considering how the American economy has started to emphasize more about the wealthy get more wealthy rather than an even playing field for everybody, as it somewhat used to be at one point. I feel as though our systematic way of doing things has started to crumble, and the statistics via poverty through the census are showing that. Child poverty rate doubled in the past 3 years, and that's terrifying. So, how's that like over in Ukraine right now?
Can you repeat the numbers? Because I confused this.
It's okay. Our current rate or our rate in 2022, so last year was 11.5% of people total lived in poverty. Uh, Child poverty from 2021 to 2022 doubled from 5.2 to 12.4%. So 37.9 million people are in poverty. And I don't have, the census does not specify how many children specifically are in poverty, just the percentage number.
Uh, okay, but what means property?
Poverty. Essentially, they're living in unwealthy, or I should say, poverty is just being incredibly poor money wise. You are financially unstable and cannot afford to feed yourself or your family.
Mhm. And so the number of those children are growing.
Yes.
Okay,
So
okay,
it
okay.
went from 5% to 12.
Oh, okay. From 2022 to uh, comparing which
Yeah.
years?
It is from 2021 to 2022.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Now I, I finally got it.
It's you're good.
In Ukraine, I guess, of course, I can't say a lot because now, because of war, we might be, I don't know exactly, but I guess we do not even um, making researchings on these topics because of our everything have changed and of course a huge number of people are in property.
Poverty.
Can you
Yeah, I
write
can
it
type it
more?
out in chat here.
Poverty. I
There you go.
poverty. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
From
Like.
what I'm sorry,
Mhm.
continue.
Yeah, yeah. It sounds like poor poverty.
Yep.
Okay. Uh, so yeah, and interesting fact that um, I have some friends who are volunteers, and they say to me that people now in nearly um, and in okay, I don't know how to say nearly from war actions. It's like this um, relevant border, I mean, between Ukrainian and Russian forces and people
Mhm.
who are close to this. I want to be clear. Combat operations and warfare. People who are close, they get humanitarian aid, and
Mhm.
the fact is. Uh, Less and less people really need it, but they are like addicted maybe, and they refuse to go to work. They refuse to make something to get out of this. I don't know of this bubble when you need when you really need it. And so many people are not working but still getting some aid, which
Mhm.
they can afford in their own strength.
Getcha.
Yeah.
So from what I looked up, um, the essentially NATO or the World Bank report, who is affiliated with more of a universal idea rather than a certain government, estimated that Ukrainian citizens have been found to have increased from 5.5% to 24.2% in poverty. So about a quarter of people. From what I'm looking at, that could definitely be wrong.
So it's been 5.5% in Ukraine and 11 and
Mhm.
5 in America.
Yes.
Yes.
But that increased from those years to, or rather, the current data for the US is what I have, and this source, what I'm looking at, is saying that Ukrainian went from 5.5 to 24%. So yeah, okay, so it's the same statistic, same year. It went from 2021 was 5.5%, and then it went to 2022, and it is 24.2% from what I am reading. And I will cite that in the sources in the description once I put this all together, as well as all my other sources. So I'm going to hold off on discussing ways of fixing that quite yet. We're going to save the solutions till the end because I'm sure we both have a lot to say on that, as we always have. So, um, moving on real quick. This is the least, it's the least hard hitting one. This is more of just a cultural thing rather than like global climate, but we're going to talk a little bit about how the family and relationship differences are between the US and Ukraine. Because I remember we had talked at one point about marriage and abortion rights and stuff like that during one of our meetings, and I found that really interesting. I think we both did. So I have a source here real quick to back up what I said that day. Because that day I was like, I don't know, we kind of start going up higher. We're about 30 years old before we get married anymore. So now I have a source for it. So currently the today average for getting married is 29 for women and 31 for men here in the US. And I think that is mainly due to how poverty specifically has shaped how families go about developing. A lot of people in the 60s were getting married much earlier. In fact, it was around 21 and 24, respectively, for women and men. So, considering the times then were much easier on economics, it was much easier to get a house, it was much easier to get a car and have a stable family of up to six kids, anywhere from one to six, usually, depending on the household religion and stuff like that. It was much easier to form a family and continue it than it is now with I can't even afford an apartment and I'm working two jobs. So I think a lot of that has to deal with financial status of people. I've noticed those who I know that are better off get married much earlier than those who are worse off, besides a certain friend that I've talked about before who got married just recently and bankrupted himself for it. So I think it's interesting to look at how that developed. So how's those statistics on your end?
So I hope you will tell me the statistic because I'm really interested in. But uh, how I see, I guess the average
Rate
uh,
of marriage.
yeah, average age for marriage in Ukraine is nearly 25. I believe so. Um, but for example, my my parents uh, get get marriage or how to
Get married.
get married
Mhm.
when they was 20 and 20 they were 20 and 21. My grandparents did it when they were 19 and 20. And now I'm my to 20 years and I'm not going to marriage I don't know at least 3 years. I hope, and it's also depends of politic
Mhm.
status. I don't know about our economy and again about war, because now it seems, and I hope you will agree with me, it seems really stupid to get marriage and make children during the war, and
Mhm.
number of marriages are increasing. Is it increasing? Is it high or
Increasing would be getting higher, decreasing would be getting lower.
decreasing?
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but you know it's interesting because from one point it's maybe not so clever to get marriage because of war and nobody knows what will be tomorrow. But at the other point, people do it because no one knows what will be tomorrow, and and they just express their feelings. They,
Mhm.
but I hope no one is going to make children during that.
Yeah, I've I don't have that experience, so I can't say anything, but I would assume, at least in my circumstance, if I were to be put in that situation, I wouldn't try to do anything specifically for developing a relationship. Not just
Mhm.
because I don't know what tomorrow will be like, but also just the fact of I don't know if I'm going to be here one day and then the next I'll be drafted and I'll be gone. So I kind of get where both sides are coming from with I don't know where I'm going to be tomorrow. I may as well do it now just in case. But I also understand more so that it's easier to just go through and then once the war ends to get married and develop your family that way. I understand both sides, but I feel like I side more with waiting than jumping straight to it just in case. I feel like that is, I'm not sure how to say that. It just doesn't seem like that's a great option. That seems like more of a we don't know where we're going to be at, so may as well do it now. Well, I mean that's exactly what it is, but you know what I'm getting at. I'm fumbling with my words a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Do you have a statistic of Ukrainian marriage?
oh, here I can look real quick. Let's see. No, I was gonna say I have all these open. So the most average age for that by the DHS program, it says the median age to get married in Ukraine is 23 years of age. So, and that's been steadily going up since the past couple of years too. But it also says 13% of people were married while they're 18. I think that's really interesting considering the age gap there is probably it's almost 10 years difference.
It's interesting. I don't know how it is in America or even in Europe, but in Ukraine, I didn't see a statistic, but I heard of it that
Mhm.
every fourth pair, every fourth marriage comes out divorcing.
Yeah, that's kind of how it's been over here. Our rate of divorce is really high. Just off the top of my head, I know.
Wait, wait, please. I meant not
Oh,
every four, but three of four. I mean, only one
yeah, yeah,
of
yeah,
four.
yeah. I get you. It's yeah, one in four. Over here, it's I, something in my head's ringing 90% or not 90, 70% of marriages before the age of 25 end in divorce. And I believe that to be true considering how many people I know whose parents are divorced or people who I know are getting divorced or people that I know will probably get divorced considering their situation. So I'm inclined to believe that. It's I'm not exactly sure why. No, I know why that is. It's again about it's more about money and about feeling inclined to do so early, probably. That would be my bet. Um, there's a statistic as well saying, I remember this from a previous class, that marriages that are done after or before 6 months weirdly last longer than those who get married after just below 1 year. And I think that's also an interesting statistic considering the fact that they've known each other for less than somebody who's a year. But at the same time, I think it's understandable to do that because I have again people that have gotten married that early and are still together months later and seem to be okay. But I also know people that are going to get divorced probably. And it's upsetting to watch, but that's how it happens, I guess. I'm not sure. I don't have any personal experience within myself of getting married or getting divorced. My parents are still together, but a lot of my friends' parents are no longer together, and a lot of my friends are going to be divorced from their wives or husbands soon-ish. So I'm inclined to believe the statistics that I've been taught previously. So would we like to move on to our final topic here, and then we can get into some solutions? Because I know we both have a lot to say about those, as we always do. Um, so our final topic here is war and terrorism, specifically about Russia and Ukraine, as well as Palestine and Jerusalem. That's a whole thing to talk about. Okay, so I'm gonna let you take on this one because I'm just here. So I'll let you go ahead and take the wheel on that one.
And which questions should they answer?
Uh, we can just talk more generally about how that's affecting how the Russian invasion is affecting you and affecting those around you, and then we can talk a little bit about Palestine because we've talked about that before, and I'm still vaguely lost on exactly what's going down. So I feel as though you have more knowledge on this than I do, both, just in general. So I'll let you take hold on this one.
Okay, of course, I can tell a lot, and I can speak long. I don't know what to say. Like how war can affect you. Um, at first, I changed my living place. I moved from Kharkiv to Lviv, to safest town, and I've been living there for 1.5 years, and now I'm in Kharkiv again. Um, 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 the second thing is because of war, and now I'm in the long distance relationships because my girlfriend came to Poland and continued studying here. Um, I don't know. I mean that it's already almost 2 years of war, of full-scale invasion, because war started in 2014 in Donbass region and Crimea. And so many things changed. I don't even know what to tell exactly because all Ukraine, all country, all my friends, uh, uh, all things were changed and hard to tell about something specific. Um, mm, I don't have friends who uh, I do have friends who are in Ukrainian army forces now. I don't have someone died. But for example, the same my girlfriend Sophia, her classmate from the college, he was 20 when he was killed by the Russian forces, and many young people die. And when you are in my age, when you are young and strong, and if you're, I don't want to say a patriot, but if you are just conscious, I know, aware um, of your I will try to get my things together because
It's okay.
it's really important. In my age, many people, really many people, many men thinks about think about going to armed forces, and we are really young. Even I'm not going to. I can't say that now, and can't promise, but you often think about it because every day someone's die, like every day, tens and hundreds of people of Ukrainian of youngs, and it's and you feel it. You really feel it, and you think often how it will affect on future of your country, because it youngs, it's often students, um, men above uh, like 30 or lower than under 30,
Mhm.
40, like they could be, I don't know, like scientists or and these people are dying every day, and it's hard to live peacefully and calm, doing your things, making theater, realizing that mm, yeah, but we donate for our army and help as we can. Uh, in Ukrainian society, we love to say if you are not in the army forces, you are for army forces, which means like you are doing all that you can do your best for it if you are not involved specifically in action, if you are
Mhm.
not weapon. Yep.
I get you. So, real quick, I'm going to stop the recording because we have reached our time limit. We're going to record a second part real quick. I will have the link to the second video in the description of this one to send you to the second part of this Capstone podcast. And I will contact you here in like 2 seconds. So, real quick,